What's up guys, Dark Dally here, and today, thanks to a viewer request, I'm going to show you how to make stairs like this. Except not only are we going to make stairs like this and only go half-ass, we're going to go all the way up and make a fully enclosed spiral staircase from one floor to another. This is something I tried here, and I kind of a little bit gave up when I got to this point because I just wasn't sure it was possible to do it up all the way. The idea for this came when I watched a video from another YouTuber. Her name is Mad Queen Show, and she did an awesome spiral staircase, which really inspired me to want to do the same. But mine's a little different than hers. She used different tiles in a different way, and I wanted mine enclosed in concrete to match the rest of my building. So I was going to have to try it a different way. Well, I showed this staircase in my last video with where I was showcasing what I had done to the castle, and as it happens, Mad Queen Show, the YouTuber whose staircase I saw and inspired me, saw my video, commented on my stairs, and said she'd like to see how I did this. So this is hopefully some cool YouTube teamwork in action. I'm gonna see if I can show her how I did this and complete the circle, so to speak. Get it? Pun intended. Complete the circle. Yeah. Alright, now before I get into that, let me show you. I am taking this after I've already done it. I have now been successful after a few hours of messing around with this. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I debated whether or not to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that I did get it completely done, put into my building, and it looks awesome, and of course it works awesome. Now, if you want to see how I got to this stage, this video will chronicle the entire journey of that. All told, it took me, I'd say said and done, about 1.5 to 2 hours. There was just some issues, mostly with snapping these walls around the stairs, because no matter how perfect you are, you cannot center these stairs all on one perfect, center. What's the word? Vertex? I don't know geometry. Okay, well anyway, so here in a minute I'm going to cut to the second part of the video, and from there what it is it's me building. Now usually I don't film, if you see my videos, I don't film myself actually building because I think I'm boring when I build. I am quiet and I keep to myself and I sit there and I mumble and I talk to myself and I do it, and if I were to try to narrate while I build, I felt it'd be distracting. Well, what happens is about the first 6 or so minutes I am commentating, but once I start moving the stairs in here, it's kind of a matter of, well, you may hear me mumble and stuff in the background. I'm going to be commentating over that part, as I'm saying. I'm going to be commentating over that part because I didn't realize I was going to film that at the time, but after I got it situated in my house, saw it actually worked, I was like, man, I should put this up too. So that's going to be commentated over. So I'm going to try to keep this video as interesting as possible, but you will see from tile 1 to complete finished product how I do this. One more thing before I do that, let me tell you why this is here the way it is. I did it like halfway, and I explained that in a previous video. The reason it's attached to this foundation, when you move groups of objects, sometimes they don't want to go the way you want, and you can't snap groups of objects to other objects. Now this was built elsewhere, down here now on the beach. You will see that location in my next segment of this video. The reason it's attached to a foundation, I built it that way, attached to a foundation down there, because if you move a group of objects that are attached to a foundation, they kind of tend to obey by the rules of the foundation, allowing them to clip farther down into the ground. That's why I was able to put this here. See this uneven terrain? This stuff is pretty largely snapped. I'm a big fan of snapping. This bottom step here is snapped to this floor, the top step is snapped to this foundation. When I built it, I actually built it without this little half wall here. I left that out. That I put in as I was putting this to the house because, again, you can't snap a group of objects to a building. So after I placed the stairs where I wanted it, and this took a little fiddling, I was able to snap this group of objects to this house with this wall. Alright, so without further ado, let's cut to the next segment, and I will show you step by step. I do skip ahead a few times because it does get boring. I spent an hour and a half or 2 hours, and I believe this video is probably going to end up, with all hopes, being under 30 minutes. That's kind of my ceiling. I don't want to go over 30. I want to keep it interesting and light. So I'm going to skip a few things, kind of like time lapse style, you know, like a cooking show or something. Let's skip to segment 2 and let's get this started. Okay, now for the second part of this, I've come over here to the beach where I can build in relative peace away from, you know, accidentally grabbing any other groups of items that I don't want to grab. And I've started with this. Not exactly the way I did it over the first time, like you saw in the building, but this is probably going to be the best way to do it. So you can best see how these line up, and these have to line up perfect. I'll show you why. Well, it's obvious why. It's because we're enclosing this inside of a wall. So it's best to put it as perfectly as you can. So what I'm trying to do is get the right angle for the step and get that spot on. Then we want to go ahead and this will help us put the place the next piece, and also it will help us visually confirm that it's all lined up. Okay. Let's go up to the next one. Yeah, the problem with this is that it's got to go inside those walls, so you can't have these hanging out too far, but luckily we're talking concrete, and the concrete, as I keep saying, is pretty forgiving. It really is. So it can actually clip through the walls some. I think I know what I'm going to do with the walls. You know, the fun part will be, and you'll see this, the fun part is trying to connect the walls because they keep trying to snap to different ones, but hell, we'll get there. Let's continue with this for a couple more levels. If anyone can figure a better or faster way to do this, I'm all ears. You know, I definitely don't. What the heck? Why won't this go? There we go. No? It's a mystery. Yeah, this can be tedious. How many do we have? We have 5. Yeah, I'd like to do at least a couple more. What I have over there looks like about half the staircase height, and it's 7. So I wanted to go ultimately 14 high, which maybe 15, which would take us a full floor. And why is this being tricky? See, guys, I told you watching me build was boring. I like building in this game, though. I think it's a really fun way to relax and chill. Even after, you know, say I've been working like 12 hours, I get home and I just want to build. Jeez. Okay, so what we'll do is take out the unnecessary floor and continue up the way I did it the first time. So okay, so it looks like we're back on track here. I was kind of encountering problems, and it looks like I figured a way around it. Sometimes it won't let you put this point right on that point. So in that case, if that is the case, you want it better to err on the side of caution. And so we'll pull it back this way on this side of it, you know, keep it away from the walls. I thought I was going to get stuck here for a minute, so I actually lit a cigarette, so pardon if you hear me smoking. Let's see. Let's continue with this. I think this is right here will be level 8. I have to farm some more metal after this. And you want to, as far as the angle to put this at, you don't want to, if you put the steps too far out like this, sure, it looks nicer and all, but what's going to happen is we're more quickly going to wrap back on ourselves, and we risk, yeah, wrapping it back too far, and you hit your head on the top step before you can even get on the first step. Now, if you put them too close together like this, the closer, the smaller the angle, the more you run into not being able to look up it. And so Like at this angle, you're going to have to kind of walk around the outside of the steps. So I want something kind of in between. You know, it's not too tight and it's not too bad either, so it's all about eyeballing. It's too bad there's no way to snap stuff like this. I think we can get away with an angle like that. Doing it this way, standing on it, is actually, I wish I thought of it in the first place, because it just kind of raises you up along with the floor as you go. So that was probably level 8, I think. So that'll make this 9. Let's see if we can speed up a little bit. So here we got this one. Oops. One with what I was doing, it was letting me go, and now we're at, let's see. I did count the bottom one over there, so we'll count the bottom one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Looks like we got 15. That might just take us to the size we need to go. Now we just need to delete all the excess floor that we don't need. So I'm going to start on this, and that's just a matter of, well, don't accidentally delete the steps, of course. Here we go. So we can start here. Well, we can definitely delete all the square ones. Square ones made it easier. I would suggest doing that if you're, whoopsie, gonna do that. Well, I hope this works. I'll admit, making this video was not on the top of the list of my things to do today. I really want to do some lighting in my castle. Hey, look at that. It doesn't wrap all the way around like I feared that it might. Let's get up here and see what we're working on. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That. Sorry about that. And this one, and oh, a couple more. Alright, so we're left with this. Wow, that's pretty darn handsome. And it's high enough. Let's see if we can wall it off. May have succeeded here. Okay. Let's run from the pilot wall just to make sure I don't have problems. Okay, now we got, now we got 2 anchor points. We got the floor and the wall there. That's a good sign. It'll let this snap. Oh, guys, I'm getting a little excited here. This might actually work. Yeah, I know. I probably should have tested this before making the video, but crap like this is so tedious. I didn't want to do it twice. It'll snap. It'll snap. Just gotta baby this. Alright guys, here we have it. I finally got it to work. It took a long time to get these walls snapped into place, and there is a small discretion, which I'll mention here in a second. All in all, I spent about 24 hours in game time putting this together. So, get ready to be patient. And the reason is, as I said earlier, you cannot perfectly get these steps to line up. With 3 walls here, one of them, there's going to be clipping issues, not allowing the walls to snap. This wall snapped pretty promptly. This wall, I could not get to snap for the longest time until actually I gave up, walked away for a second, and came back, reopened build mode, and then it popped. This wall actually is not snapped, nor did it ever snap. What I did with this one is this one simply would not. After about 20 or 30 minutes of trying everything, I built walls up here and tried to snap down, I built wall structures out here and tried to bring it in from the outside, and there was no way it was going to snap. What I finally did was I grabbed this entire group of objects, minus this because this wasn't there, and I moved it into it. What I did was I put this wall by its lonesome self over here, grabbed everything, and moved it so close that you can't tell what you can basically hardly tell unless you look right there that it's not actually snapped. But hey, it all works because it's not going to snap when we move it into place anyway. The only question is now where to put it and exactly how to use it. There's one problem here. Now you can walk up this easily without banging your head on the top step. You gotta watch though, don't make angles any bigger than this. If these angles were even a couple degrees bigger, this would have wrapped around sooner and you'd hit your head as soon as you hit this top step. This first step, I mean. So watch that. But obviously it can be done. Now the only question is what to do from here. I tried removing this wall and putting a floorboard across here, but that you do hit your head on. So you can't put a floor across here. Another step is a possibility. Boy, there's a lot of possibilities. And I will show that in the next part of this video where I'm going to grab this puppy and we're going to take it over and put it somewhere in my house and make use out of it. Now this is definitely not an easy process to do. This took some patience, but man, it's a pretty nice looking staircase. Alright guys, I'll be right back in a minute. Okay guys, and here is where I am putting it actually into my castle, and this part I have sped up because it's a little longer and could possibly be a little boring. I definitely don't want any video ever to be boring, but at the same time I want to show you how I got it in there. So now I'm going out to grab the staircase, and I think I found a good place indoors to put it. I found a nice little corner on what is essentially the first main floor. Now I already have a staircase on this floor, so that means I don't have to use this, but I can. And so that's cool. Now here I'm seeing, okay, it's not going to, oh, no, I did get to fit right there. I had to delete some floors to do it. And this is where, well, this is where a lot of the things that you have to do in order to build simply come into play, which is deleting stuff so that you can put new stuff in, and then on top of that deleting yet more stuff because, okay, see here I've got it in the corner, but there's this huge ugly gap in the corner. Now I couldn't, that's as far in as I could get it, and I want to cover this up. Unfortunately, this means dismantling a decent portion of my building. So yeah, and if you can hear a little noise in the background, when I was filming this, I didn't realize it till I watched this how much I apparently talk to myself when I build. I was kind of mumbling. I did have my headset on, and apparently I was kind of mumbling to myself while I did this. That may be what you're hearing if you're hearing it, because I didn't know I was going to record this. Afterwards, once I found the staircase did actually fit in here, I realized, holy shit, I should upload this, because building the staircase was really only half the battle. You know, putting it in your building can be quite a feat. Now here I'm still blocking off that ugly corner that this staircase created when I put it in, using walls, and you're going to see me delete a lot. You're going to see me delete a pretty good portion of my castle here, which I then have to rebuild, and you have to do things, you know, in a certain order. There I was able, this was lucky, right there I was able to put that floor in, and it lines up perfectly as though it were the next step. That was a little bit of luck. Okay, here I can't get this railing in, it's not going to let it go, so what do I have to do? I got to delete that damn wall out. Poof, the railing goes right back in. Now, yes, now the problem of getting that wall back in place, and it will not snap back where I had it. It looks like it is, but it's not. It's trying to snap 1/8 of a tile forward. What I'm going to end up having to do is that balcony I have out there, I got to go delete that. Then I can put the wall in. But the problem is then I can't snap that balcony back in. Yeah, it's all the whole thing of doing everything in the correct order. I had a heck of a time getting that curved wall back in place. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, not that one. It'll be the next one. I had a problem getting back into place. Okay, now here we are in the next part. I've gotten past the tricky curved wall. I just cut that whole section out. I had a curved wall that would just not go back into place, required removing floors, ceilings, putting it in. And now that I've got it in, now I'm dealing with the aftermath of, yeah, that's why I said I had to dismantle a large portion of the building. Well, not large, but a decent amount. I mean, pretty much most of this side of the building at one point or another had to come out and then go back in again in the correct order. And I'm pretty much down to, I just got to put this wall back here and this blank spot you see to my left, and then block off the rest of the bottom and the floor. And the room to the right of the screen right there, it needs to come up and butt against the top of the staircase as closely as possible. That was a bit of a battle too. That's not in this video. What you will see is the finished product. I'm trying to show as much of this as I think I can do without absolutely putting you to sleep because, well, it is boring watching me build. I say that, like, I think I've said that 3 times in this video, and it's always true. But, I mean, look what I'm doing, you know. Again, it's the whole thing of putting a group of objects in a fully completed building requires a lot of dismantling and redoing things. Here, I got to get back out to that balcony, and I can't get out there, so I got to build myself a bridge just so I can get out and put, like, 2 tiles in because light was showing through that, and that bugs me. So that means taking that wall back out so I can get tiles in here because I don't like looking up at my ceiling and seeing light come through the gaps. It's just not my style. There you go, Dark Alley. That's the right tile. Yes, you want the round one, not the square one. Okay, and here in a second we're going to skip to the last segment where I show you the completed product. Okay guys, and here is the finished product. All put in here nice and neat. Really about the best one could do in sealing it off, you know, in a square corner. I've got all the ugly stuff blocked off. There's really no visible gaps or anything like that. The floor above looks pretty decent. I've toyed around with some other ideas, but the fact of the matter is this building has yet to be decorated. Once I get furniture, carpets, lighting, for instance, things like that, any leftover seams from the staircase are gonna, you know, they're not really gonna be noticed anymore. Up here, it meets pretty well. I'm not really totally happy with that gap right there because I'm just a perfectionist, but what can I possibly do about that? Actually, you know, this was just going to be me tying this up, but I think we actually can fix this. There is one technique that we can use. It's these beautiful little 8th walls. Let's just see real quick. I know it'll snap there. Probably actually snap another one. Well, let's just see what happens. Let's go with it. Okay, that's a possibility. Speaking of which, if we're going to use 4 of those, we may as well just use 1 of these. Well, shit, look at that. That's a possibility for the future. We'll see. But this is pretty neat and tied up. I got the floor here fixed. What I did basically was, and this is just the only way to do it, you got a curved objects in a square space, you got to block off the gaps. This area here is walled off. You know, there is no other recourse. That's what you have to do. But it looks fine, guys, so, and it's going to look better than fine when everything's said and done. This is decorated and these boxes are arranged where they're supposed to be and all that stuff. So, guys, how to build a pretty gosh darn near perfect spiral staircase within a concrete tower. Here you go. It's been a a heck of a long journey. I've been at this all day between the hour and a half to 2 hours it took to build it, and the additional hours I spent trimming and editing video clips and commentating to get this all together. But that's really of no consequence to me. What I want to do is show you guys what I've done so that you guys can see it and perhaps take it and do something better with it. That's how this works. In fact, that's how this came about. As I mentioned in the very first part of this video, like half an hour ago, this all came when I saw another YouTuber make a spiral staircase, and I want to try to do it differently. So I want you guys to see this, and that's why I showed every step along the way. Maybe you can improve upon it, and let's find a better way to do this. This was pretty good though, and my building still looks pretty darn presentable from outside. I didn't have to fuck too much with the walls. You saw me moving them around, replacing them and whatnot, but it still looks the same as it did. So guys, I had a lot of fun, more fun than I thought I would actually making this staircase and showing you how it worked. And who knows, I ended up with a staircase in my castle I didn't intend on putting there. So like my video if you like it, subscribe if you want updates to follow along with my uploads. I'm making videos typically every day or every other day during the work week. I really love to hear from everyone. I love getting subscribers and talking with you guys. That's how some of this stuff happens. I talk to you guys and I learn new stuff and I try to my best to apply it. So like the videos, subscribe. My name is Dark Deli. I will catch you guys next time.